What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Godly Potential YouTube channel with another video in this question and answer series. This question is entitled Ancestral Trauma. Hi, I saw this word being used in a YouTube video, but can't seem to find a reliable source on what it means. Can you please explain what this means and how it is a part of a healing process? Thank you. Ancestral trauma. All right, so ancestral trauma. For this, I did a little research. I'm not an expert on this, but I did learn about this. But I want to read strictly from a source so I won't mess anything up. So this is a article written by learn.genetics.utah.edu if you want to look it up. The title of this article is Epigenetics and Inheritance. So I'm just reading this short little paragraph. It says, Epigenetic inheritance adds another dimension to the modern picture of evolution. The genome changes slowly through the process of random mutation and natural selection. It takes many generations for a generic trait to become common in a population. The epigenome, on the other hand, can change rapidly in response to signals from the environment. And epigenetic changes can happen in many individuals at once. Through epigenetic inheritance, some of the experiences of the parents may pass through future generations. At the same time, the epigenome remains flexible as environmental conditions continue to change. Epigenetic inheritance may allow an organism to continually adjust its gene expression to fit its environment without changing its DNA code. So that just pretty much said that you can't inherit traits from your ancestors, pretty much. And read through that little part again. Through epigenetic inheritance, some of the experiences of the parents may pass through future generations. So the title of this was Ancestral Karma, I believe. So epigenetics is real. It's pretty much when a trait is passed down from one generation to the next, or one person to the next. So, ancestral karma. How can this affect you? What is it? It basically means when your ancestors dealt with karmic patterns and behaviors, and by karmic in this example, I mean just a negative behavior or pattern. That pattern can be passed down to future generations. So if your ancestors dealt with, let's just say slavery, right? And they fear their oppressor, you can develop qualities within you that make you look at whatever their oppressor looked like at the time. And within you, you can see that same type of individual, like the archetype of that person. And you will give them a superiority over you. You can develop a inferiority complex, as well as, let's say they viewed money as being negative, right? They had a spirit of lack that can pass down through generations. So throughout your whole lineage, your whole generation, starting from that one ancestor, and get passed down. So now you have karma that pretty much doesn't allow you to manifest money because of ancestral karma that's blocking you. Or you can look at relationships, right? Let's say if you look at your lineage, all the women are not married and they don't have men around. You have no grandfathers, no great grandfathers, none of that. Of course you do, but it's like once the woman gets pregnant, eventually they either leave, die, or whatever. That can create karmic patterns within you. So that is karmic or ancestral karma. I also wanted to mention another thing. This is called intergenerational trauma. This is at socialworktoday.com. Now this states, intergenerational trauma affects one family. While each generation of that family may experience its own form of trauma, the first experience may be traced back decades. The people at the highest risk of trauma and those with the most difficulty working through it have experienced their own trauma, but also have come from a family where there was trauma in their parents and often in their parents' parents, says Stephanie Swan, PhD, a private practitioner who owns and operates the Atlanta Mindfulness Institute. She quotes, "Where trauma has been untreated, what is fairly common is that the untreated trauma in the parent is transmitted through the child, through the attachment bond, and through the messaging about self, the world, and safety and danger." So that's just thinking that trauma can be passed down. So that further proves the point that ancestral trauma is an actual thing. So to bring it back full circle, ancestral trauma is trauma passed down to you through your ancestors that can be affecting you today, and most likely are affecting you unless you put your awareness on it. So how do you stop these karmic cycles, this ancestral trauma? How do you change this? One way, let's say in the case of money, if your ancestors had the spirit of lack, you can create an ancestral altar, and on that altar you can burn ancestor money, because depending on the type of religion your ancestors had, what their belief system was, if they went to their heaven or their hell, they may be struggling in those afterlives. So by burning ancestor money, you pretty much send them energy as well as a currency to the other life. So I just got into trading Forex, right? You got all these different currency pairs, right? You got the Canadian dollar, you got the Japanese yen, you got the USD, you got Mexican peso. And these are all just currencies that are allowed in that place, in that country. See, you have a thing called ancestor money, or hell notes, or jocks paper is what they call them. Those are currencies that are good in that ancestral plane. They can help out your ancestors. So by burning the ancestor money, you're feeding them that. As well as you got different type of notes that you can burn. If you can look up Sri Master Gano Grills on YouTube. You go to his website, galacticus.com. He sells ancestor money as well as other notes. And one of those notes is specifically designed to help you with getting rid of that karmic debt that your ancestor took on. Because once you get rid of that debt, then your ancestors can help you in this lifetime get more abundance and more wealth. So that's a way that you can get rid of that karmic pattern or trauma. Now, when it comes to a relationship patterns, here you have to just simply become aware of the patterns by looking at the generation before you or your parents, and then the next generation, their parents, your grandparents, and so on and so forth. And look at the pattern. What has been occurring, Are the women, are they normally single? If it is, change that. Or are the two parents or the two people together, so the man and the woman together, but they no longer love them, that they no longer love each other? You have this bullshit going around saying that you don't have to be in love with somebody to pretty much stay with them. So if you have that in your family throughout generations, put your awareness on that and change that. You gotta stop it, because you heard the saying of well, this just runs in the family, or that just runs in the family. Well, you can make it where that's where it stops. That's where it stops running, because it's not serving you. These are karmic patterns. And let's say it's like I said, through slavery and shit, all the shit that ancestors dealt with who went through slavery. Put your awareness on that. If you have let's just say you had African ancestors that were enslaved by Europeans. Put your awareness on it. Look within your consciousness and look at your previous generations and say to yourself, did they always say, oh, it's the white man's fault? Or or whatever. If they do that, change those patterns. Did they look at, in terms of religions, did they, let's say they believe in Christianity and you don't, and you feel like that's not good for your lineage, it's not serving your people. Do they look at what the image that they have of Jesus? Do they look at him as being superior? So did they see Caesar Borgia as the image of God, pretty much? And in turn, they view other people who look like him, white, blonde hair, blue eyes, as superior. If that's the case, change it. So those are the ways that you can pretty much fix these ancestral karmic patterns, or these traumas that may be passed down through your ancestors. You have the power to change that shit right now. So your kids and your grandkids and their kids won't have these patterns as easily present, because it's still in the genes. It's going to take a lot of weeding it out. But you can be the trailblazer who does that. But that is my take on ancestral trauma. Again, if you're interested in getting the ancestor money, look up Sri Master Gano Grills on YouTube, or go to this website, Galacticus, GALIGHTICUS.com. But that's all. Until next time. Peace.